I felt like the build script was really important for the project and for performance, and just kind of like as a project that does good for the community, the build script seemed critical to that. But of course, I was underestimating how much work it would be, and I had very little experience in Ant, which was the plan for what we were going to use. Luckily, HTML5 Reset launched, and it was so close to exactly what we were doing that I was just like, we need to ship right now, because if we wait a week, then we lost, and all this work was wasted. We already had the website designed and everything, so we were pretty much close to done. So the build script was huge, and Rob kicked that off. Rob had experience with Ant, and so we, of course, wanted to basically attack things like the why slow and page speed guidelines and find a way to do that generalized for everyone's projects. And Ant is just a beast of XML configuration, but it's powerful when it does what you want it to do. And so Rob started, and it's a harder thing, right, in the scope of a project for front-end developers to introduce something that uses Ant and XML and Java. So our contributors were basically everyone that contributed to that contributed large portions, because by the time that you learn it, you want to change a bunch of things because it takes so long to ramp up on. So Rob started it, and then we had a few more large contributors that kind of redid the entire thing. That happened about 4 times before I think it finally shipped. As far as the pace of the project, it's all just kind of been very linear, I guess. Unilever probably was the first large site to use it, and then Twitter is 2010 and was a big one. It'd be interesting look at history of that wiki page. I think the growth has been very linear because it has to be the foundation. Well, it doesn't have to be, but a lot of the techniques are helpful at a foundation of a website. Most of the tricks couldn't be shipped, a week after the project was launched. After the Boilerplate project was launched, they have to be baked in at the start of the project. So we didn't start seeing the projects for a few months, but then it's just kind of been growing, and getting a positive reaction from developers that have used it has been huge, which I normally see. Of course, there's a lot of consternation around the size of it. People feel like it is too big. At the same time, people feel like when you read through it, you'll learn so much, and you feel very comfortable with everything that's in it. So some people just use parts of it. Some people use the whole thing and delete stuff. I think both uses are fine. And the cool thing was that, so our contributions, actually, on that, the GitHub community, right when we shipped, we had like 30 bugs filed, like 20 pull requests within the first few days. So we actually shipped the 1.1. Oh, this was the 0.9.1. We shipped that within like a week because there was a lot of things that were needed to be fixed, essentially. And so the GitHub community sprang up really quick, and has been extremely engaged and active. And we climbed to be the 5th most watched project on GitHub. I think we actually made 4th, but then Twitter Bootstrap now became the most popular project on GitHub. So we're, I think, back down at 5th. But the GitHub community, developer community, has really been the driving force in refining the techniques there. At some point in here, we should also mention bringing in Matthias and Nicholas to the team. They just kind of demonstrated their value in the community. I have to go, and we brought them on. Okay, I hope that helps. Cheers.